Let's do this. Let's start with kind of going over what this is all about. Who is Tillynorwood? Nice name, Tills. Why is this AI actress? Why this AI actress is sparking backlash from real Hollywood stars? Norwood's creator, Aline van der Velden, said she hopes AI will be welcomed as part of the wider artistic family. And there she is. Okay. A rising star is stirring up major drama in Hollywood, and she's not even real. Actors are pushing back after comedian and Particle 6 founder Elaine van der Velden stated that AI-generated performer Tilly Norwood was attracting talent agency attention at the Zurich Summit on Saturday. Norwood, a brunette AI actress with her own Instagram account, first appeared in an entirely AI-generated comedy video for Particle 6 back in July. She is the first AI talent to come out of Sequoia, a spinoff from Van der Velden's Particle 6 at the Summit, which is the industry branch of the Zurich Film Festival. I just feel like, the reason I want to do this, Roxy, is
Why?
because last night I was watching the news, and for some reason, every time, it's one thing when like a Latino newscaster or somebody puts a little of the extra curl on the R when they're talking about things, but when a completely overly white person does it out of nowhere, it drives me nuts. Like, and then they were talking to everyone on the corner, and then they had a representative, Leona Garcia, who said that it was like out of nowhere. It comes, it's like just spinning the R. It's like, and so I wanted to do that for Van der Velden. I don't know if that is even why you would do that. Probably not. But
Good job, Kristian. Good job. If you were AI, you'd know how to do it.
I would know how to do that. So Van der Velden, when we first launched Tilly, people were like, "What's that?" And now we're going to be announcing which agency is going to be representing her in the next few months, she said. Yet actors are not thrilled that Norwood may be finding representation. On Monday's episode of The View, panelist Whoopi Goldberg said that Norwood could have an unfair advantage over flesh and blood performers. The problem with this, in my humble opinion, is that you are suddenly up against something that's been generated with 5,000 other actors, Goldberg said. It's got Betty Davis attitude. It's got Humphrey Bogart's lips. Though she called that advantage unfair, Goldberg challenged AI talent to bring it on. You can always tell them from us for now. She said of AI actors versus human performers, we move differently. Our faces move differently. Our bodies move differently. In the Heights star, Melissa Barrera, meanwhile, posted Deadline story about Norwood and wrote on her Instagram story per Deadline. Hope all actors rep by the agent that does this drop her ass. How gross. Read the room. AI was a large part of the negotiations during the SAG-AFTRA strike in 2023, with performers raising concerns about losing opportunities for work due to technological advancements. Meanwhile, video game performers covered by SAG just reached a deal this past July, which hinged on AI protections after walking off the job a year earlier. Several other stars also shared their thoughts on Deadline's Instagram post about Norwood, with Matilda star Mara Wilson writing, "And what about the hundreds of living young women whose faces were composited together to make her? You couldn't hire any of them?" Easy Gonzalez wrote, "Shame on whoever's trying to normalize this," and called the story horrific and terrifying. Pretty Little Liars alum Lucy Hale posted a no, while Rain actress commented that Norwood was not an actress but an AI program. Toni Collette responded with shock face emojis. There's a lot of different things. So let's see. Following the backlash, Van der Velden, herself an actress on the show, Miss Holland, responded in a statement that she posted on both her own and Norwood's Instagram accounts on Sunday. She called Norwood not a replacement for a human being, but a creative work, piece of art. She likened AI at large to a new tool or a new paintbrush to use to imagine and build stories, much like animation and CGI. I think that's the point there. So that's an interesting point. The one that kind of, that's the way it's eventually going to be seen. Not today, it won't be, but eventually it's going to be seen much like animation and CGI. This story was inevitable, as Thanos would say. Inevitable. This was a conversation that you and I had back on Collider Live on SEN. This is, and we didn't know it was necessarily AI, but we said they're going to have the technology eventually, and I use this example all of the time, to make a Die Hard movie with a 35-year-old Bruce Willis if they wanted to, and you wouldn't know the difference. I said eventually you're going to be able to do that. And it's funny, you see all these comments. These are, and I'm not being a pro or con against this right now. I'm just saying in general that this is the case, and you that it shouldn't be the way. It's going to be the way. in the way that this generation, whether it's Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, are going to be vehemently against this. Maybe Gen Z will be a little bit more understanding of it. What's it now? Gen Alpha, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
They're going to be more so of the ones that start to shepherd in this kind. When they start taking over and the generations that come after them, our points of view and our thought of how this is, someone said this is soulless. It's going to be Ready Player One. Like, should it be? Different conversation. That statement about animation, the statement about it's going to be just like video games, that's how they're going to push these things in. And as Whoopi Goldberg said inside of that quote of, well, you can tell the difference now. And as I was added in there, today you can. It's getting scary. I saw an interview that I played it on yesterday's show with Juan Soto doing this thing, how he said he's going to quit baseball and he's going to do, he didn't say any of this stuff, but it looked like he was saying it. And they used AI to do it. AI's getting Roxy, AI really in like the last 2 years is when we've really been talking about AI. What is AI? Look at how it's evolved in 2 years. What is it going to look like in 10 years from now? So what do you make of all of this? I'm very curious. I don't really have an opinion on it, except I'm like, I saw it coming. I love talking to you guys about Nutrafol. They are the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand and is trusted by over 1.5 million people. You feel great about what you're putting into your body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF content certified. It's the gold standard in third-party certification for supplements. I'm telling you, Nutrafol is no joke. You see the results. Roxy was talking about it not too long ago. She's been using it. She sees the results. You see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping. When you go to Nutrafol.com, you got to enter the promo code Kristian. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com. That is spelled Nutrafol.com. Use the promo code Kristian. Nutrafol.com, promo code Kristian.
Yeah. Everything that I see coming, I still have an opinion on. Like,
yeah, I guess
not to make it political, but like before Trump was elected for the second time, I said he's going to be elected. That doesn't mean that's who I voted for, and it doesn't mean that's who I was in support of. I just saw it coming. So just because I saw this coming, because addressing some of the chat's concerns does not mean, or Kristian saw it coming, does not mean that we're stoked about it, or
right.
that's what we were hoping. Just seeing things coming means reading the tea leaves. So I agree with you that obviously I saw this coming. You and I have spoken about this many times. I think anybody who didn't see this coming has buried their head in the sand a little bit. And it's partially why there's so many protections that SAG, and not just SAG, a lot of different unions have attempted to put in place to protect people who are working, because I do think that we are inevitably and eventually screwing ourselves over and over and over again with the amount of jobs that are going to be able to be replaced, even if it's not as good, even if it's 70% is good, 80% is good, or for a while, 40% is good. There's a lot of companies that will cut corners and that will replace people. And for all the industries that we're doing that for, it's extremely scary, because then what is left for those industries and for people to try to make a living, which right now is very difficult anyway. And as the price of living goes up and the ability to get a job, you're not just competing with other individuals, you're competing with AI.
Right.
That's scary. All that being said, I think that there's forms of revenue here that I really wish were being tapped and talked about. And I saw a lot of comments on that post that Tilly's creator wrote and posted on Tilly's Instagram, which by the way has like 32,000 followers, which is wild. But a lot of the comments are, who is this designed after? They deserve to be receiving money. And that I completely agree with. All AI is fed by people, by things that are out there. And if you are designing your AI based on 100 people, 1,000 people, they deserve to be compensated for the designs that you are making off of people, in the same way that if you're a photographer and somebody uses your photo, you're supposed to be compensated. If you are a painter and somebody displays your art, not in their home or
That's
whatever.
tricky.
Like there's it, I'm not saying that it's not tricky.
No, but I mean, like when you look at something like an artist who makes like, I remember, for example, there was, I can't remember what, like, okay, Sam Witwer, they designed a character before he got the role that looked like him, right? He wasn't compensated for it.
What role?
It was the Force Unleashed. He eventually got the job, so maybe that's a bad example. But I mean, like, there's been art that is like, well, it kind of looks like this person, it kind of looks like that person. Those artists aren't paying out the actors that we want them to look like, kind of like Marlon Brando and so
Yeah,
and so.
but they still did it. This is being trained by those people to generate. So I do believe that you have to be compensated for that. We need to know what's going into the algorithm, because that's crazy. You can't just use somebody's work and then become that person and take their job without compensation. But that's not even the point that I was trying to get at.
Right.
The point that I was trying to get at is when you and I started initially talking about this so heavily, Kristian, was when the Swiffer commercial came out, or I don't know if it was Swiffer or Mop brand, whatever, with James Dean. Yeah.
Yep.
You remember this?
I do. I remember. Yeah.
And you and I were both like, that's kind of cool. It could be an alternate form of revenue for his trust, for a surviving family or whatever. I think that's what's really cool about AI, would be the ability to provide for your family after you are gone, with potential deals that need to start being put in place between companies and the individuals, or like part of your will or your living trust or whatever. This is what you're allowed to do when I'm gone. If you want to use this for whatever AI project or whatever thing you're doing, this is who gets compensated for it. So if we can start finding ways to use AI and have humans be compensated for AI usage, I have significantly less issues with it. Otherwise, I think that we're screwing ourselves every day, even the people creating this.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. I mean, I do, and I do understand very much so the pushback of it and the fear behind it. I mean, I do. It's like more stuff that, like, it's that ultimate fear of just machines taking jobs in general. And now the idea, I don't think that actors and producers and anybody inside the film business ever even imagine something like this. To where when you're about the jobs that could be taken, you're like, well, not me. You're not able to. It's what it is right now is that the idea of what AI is. And you can tell, like, even so, I sometimes, like, these Star Wars videos will pop up. And the sad thing is that a lot of these AI Star Wars things that are coming up are stories and things that are better than what Lucasfilm is coming up with. This is the unfortunate part of this. But what does play the story wise?
I hear you. That's a bummer.
It's a bummer.
I don't know, but that sucks.
But what does play very well, I mean, very, very obvious, is like, I've watched these ones with like Luke, and it's like, still there's no emotion behind it, and it's so robotic that's where I'm on the same page as Whoopi, where it's like, it's just, I can tell, I'm like, I can't get invested in these things. I'm invested in the idea of it, how it looks, the idea of these, oh my God, we could have seen something like that, and look at the young Mark Hamill and how that really works, and it doesn't look as fake as it did in the Mandalorian, and that second one. This looks like really good. But then the problem is, then he starts, and then Master Yoda, the reason why I'm going to be here is I am the last Jedi. I will be here. And it's like, they're not there yet. The question is, will they get there? And will the people that are complaining about it now start to accept it, because they're not going to be able to tell the difference? It's why my head goes in a million different places with the simulation theory. Like, it really does. Like,
I know you've talked about that a lot.
It's so fascinating where, like, if things look like this after 2 years, and what they already have with, like, virtual reality, it's like, what would AI and virtual reality look like in 20, 30, 100 years from now? And how could it not potentially look like this?
Yeah, I think that a lot of your examples, Kristian, continue to use real people. And I think that that's so much easier for us at this point to grasp, because imagine being plopped on this planet 100 years from now, and somebody saying that their favorite actress was Tillynorwood.
Right. I hear what you're saying. Right. Someone who's not even
It
real.
would just be like, but that's
Right.
not a whatever.
Right.
But if it's James Dean and they're able to perfect Mark Hamill,
right,
and they're able to perfect, like those were real people. So it does feel a little bit different.
Yeah, it does.
Than just
It does.
making people up. It would be, but I do think that it would be. It's interesting how many not Jennifer Tilly, how many Tillynorwoods are we as a society going to want to see? Like, is that enjoyable?
Right.
Even if it is perfected, is that something that people are interested in? Like the choices AI makes? And I think the answer probably is yes, but it'd be interesting to find out.
That was why I made my earlier point about generations. I think that, you know, majority of people in this chat, your generation, my generation, the majority would answer your question with no. I will not. I would not want that. I would not want, even if they did perfect the emotion, someone who is not real. I just feel that eventually, because it is the norm, in the same way that if you asked generations about, phones and computers and all that shit, here's like it wouldn't be wrong that it's taken over and changing the way that society is, but it's a norm now, right? It's a norm. Like having your phone, like I hate it. Like I looked the other day, I was on the subway and I look up, I'd say 60 to 70% of the people I was looking at like this, and it's like, that's the norm. Like right now, AI is still fresh. What's her name? Tillynorwood. What's that her name? Tillynorwood. Eventually, will she be the norm? Will that be the norm? Not for our generations, but for future generations. I'm not asking should it be, because like I just said, I don't think social media should have been the norm, but it is. It's a norm.
Like, what jobs do you feel like are AI proof?
I don't know anymore.
Not AI proof. Then
I don't know anymore.
Then in your future world that you're talking about, or the future world, is it possible that nobody works?
I mean, it's like Wall-E, right? To where, because I was just going to say, well, I guess restaurants, but throw it in a program, put it together. The AI works the machines and puts together the dishes, and you could say the same thing. Like, I would want a real chef who's going to come up with these things and do. But if the AI is smart enough to figure out how to sprinkle that in, how to make it work, it's the scariest shit ever. It's Terminator stuff. It's frightening.
This is what we're dealing with on this season of the morning show.
AI.
Yeah.
Wow.
It opens the season with Jennifer Aniston speaking in like 50 languages.
Yeah.
And it looks exactly like she's doing it. Yeah. And then I won't reveal what ends up happening because I've seen more episodes, but they're dealing with like AI and deep fake and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smart. You had mentioned that about that show, that they deal with a lot of the real world stuff, what's going on. So it makes sense
they have their finger on the pulse for sure. And I much would rather watch a season of this than watch another pandemic season, because holy crap, I was done with
brutal,
that.
Huh? Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, I understand. I'm making very clear, very, very sympathetic and understanding that I can get the freakouts and why it's happening. And I think, I don't think, and so someone said, well, what's my opinion? My opinion is I don't think it should be happening right now. I just don't.
Really? So what do you think should be happening?
I think that if it was up to me, I'd get rid of all of it. All the AI, I'd get rid of all. I mean, I'm old fogey sitting on the couch shaking fist. I want to get rid of social media, and
so like you would enact bills and outlaw AI.
It's so hard to say that now, because because there is a lot that has come out of AI that is like, what if AI comes up with a program that we couldn't fathom and they find an algorithm to cure cancer, right? Like the smartest minds couldn't figure it out, but a robotic mind did.
Yeah. And then does the ends justify the means? I mean, you're somebody who said that you think that social media is worse than it is good, and you would outlaw social media as well. So
I would love to.
So
I would love to. But again, we're so far down that path. People, like, look at what country was that? Oh my God, there was a country recently that the country banned social media, and there were riots in the streets because they banned social media. Like riots. Like people are as addicted to social media as they're addicted to other things. It's crazy.
I was hearing from my friend Jess Lucero, who was in Canada for maybe Tiff, and she had tried to share an article. I've never been to Canada, so any of our Canadian fans, let me know if this is real. But she was trying to send somebody an article on Instagram, and on Instagram, or somebody tried to send her something, and she couldn't open it.
Mhm.
She asked them like, "Oh, why can't I open this?" And it said something like, "This is not allowed in the country you're in."
Yeah.
And so she asked some of the Canadian people, and they were like, "Oh, you're not actually allowed to share articles on social media with people because then people might just read the headline and not the actual article if they're
Right.
not just coming from the publication or something
Right.
like that." The country has outlawed via social media
That's nuts.
sharing that kind of stuff. I don't know the exact specifics of it,
Mhm.
but it is very interesting what some countries are trying to do.
Yeah. And it's just we're so far down the rabbit hole at this point that it's like you can't grasp it. I saw someone posting, I guess, like Florida at one point tried to ban kids from using social media. I mean, I love that. I love that idea of it. It's like I think it's so damaging for children. I think it's so bad for children. But man, I don't know, man. This is like we're in a different place in general. So I'm still
Are
just
we?
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I
Sorry.
was going to say I'm more interested to see what's going to happen the end of October when they reveal what AI Atlas is. We need to figure that out,
You and my dad both.
right?
What? I don't remember what I was going to ask.
It's all right.
No.
Okay.
It's gone. It's gone with
Don't
the
worry about it.
wind.
It's all right. What do you guys think about all of this? About this, I'm so glad that Roxy brought this up. This is a great topic to talk about because it ain't going away. It's not the last time we're going to talk about it.
No, and like she's looking for representation.
That's
Kristian.
crazy, though. That's we even talk about that. That's crazy. Like,
yeah, it is because
well,
like
shouldn't the creator be looking for the creator? The creator is looking for like you would represent her in the same way you'd represent like a director or
I don't know though, because maybe she could have Tillynorwood at WME and then she could have Joe Blow at whatever at
that's
CAA.
nuts. That's nuts. That's nuts. You're right. You're 100% right. Nuts.
Yeah.
What a
Really
what a crazy world. Put your thoughts in there. Let us know what you think about the world as it stands today with all that. Nuts. Very, very nuts. Very curious.